All right, someone had asked me about a grade. Sometimes, folks, when you redo a score, you got to let me know that you've redone it because I don't always get a chance to go back and look until class time to know that you've resubmitted. So if you made any adjustments to any work that I've graded already, as far as the last assignment is concerned, uh, please. Good afternoon. All right. Like that. Okay, dokie. So we are in Canvas and we are talking about pathways to find the right career. Almost everybody's here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Most of you have completed the activity with your 3 questions and you did a really nice job of it. If you haven't done that, please make sure that you do. Today is the deadline for that assignment. Trying to share my screen and it's taking my Zoom has been acting up today, so everything is a little slow. But if you go to Canvas, we're in the unit 8, choose the right career path. That's what we're focusing on. There we go. Sharing. All right, so this was the assignment from last time. Please make sure that you have done that. Yeah, it's been connecting, disconnecting all day long. Good. Uh, yes, quite a few of you have finished. A couple of you are doing a second look, and that's good. That's good. Because this is a foundation activity, folks. This will kickstart all the other things that you need to do. So you need to think about yourself. Well, sometimes you all don't think about yourselves. You don't think about your talents, your interests. Um, like I said last class, finding a job is a job. You have to work at um, what do you, if you want to work at something you enjoy, finding a job is a job. You have to take the time to actually know what it is you're interested in. So you'll stay there. You start doing something you don't like, you get tired of it and you want to quit. So it's important that you know what you're good at, and people pay you for what you're good at. So know what that is. All right. So, um, and I don't know why your program is different to the ones I had before. I can usually tell the other Canvas programs have a student view, so I can see what let's make sure that you're looking at what I'm looking at, because this course seems to have 2 separate activities. So I want you to take a few minutes to read this over. Um, this is in the module, it's module 3. So it's right after the assignment. If you're in the module, it's right after the assignment that I just gave. So we're going to look at that. We're also going to look at networking. So the video that I'm going to show in a few minutes is about networking. There we go. So, yeah, it is due today at midnight. So yeah, I don't know. Canvas does its own thing. I know that it's not due. So if you got a 0 for it, don't worry about it. I can't take. I can override the 0, but I can't make it not give you a 0. Is what I'm saying. Okay. Canvas is. I don't know why I picked it. It was supposed to have been later on, like you said, at uh, um, midnight. But you're the second person to ask me about. Okay, no, it's not published. Okay. Okay. All right. So you can now find, all right. So we did the how to choose a career path. Now you should be looking at taking steps to get there. So that'll be right. That should be published now on yours. So read that over. Give it another 5 minutes for some late scragglers to come in, and then I'm going to do attendance, and then I'm going to show a video. All right, but take note of the things that are important. Like right now, you're in middle school, and sometimes you're not considering how important your grades are anywhere. I have a daughter right now. She's 27 years old and she's looking for a job. They want a copy of her high school transcript, and she's graduated high school and college. So it's important. You always need a copy of your school record. You want to make sure that you're taking the right classes. And in order to take the right classes, you got to know what you're interested in. You don't want to go all the way through high school and then realize you're interested in something, but you didn't take any of the right classes for it. So that means when you go to college now, you got to pay to take the right classes. So you want to think about the right classes while you're in high school where it's free and you can start to direct your path in the directions you want to go in. All right, so like I said, take a few minutes to read this one over and the next one. Then I'm going to show a video on networking. How do I get to know other people? One of the questions you had was, um, who would you, if you had to ask questions, who would you go to? So we're going to look at that in a few. All right. So take a few minutes to read. I'm going to stop sharing. So you should be in the module on module 8 and step 2 and 3. I'm going to try to stop sharing. All right, so as soon as I finish attendance, I'll be right back. I'll be checking GoGuardian to see that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. All right, is it showing for you now? I just published it. Is it showing now? Okay, thank you. This thing is just spinning round and round, so I can't leave. I asked Santa for a new computer. That did not happen.
Well, and
No, instead my brakes went, so I had to spend the money on my brakes. All right, not sharing. Good. Okay, everybody should be on taking steps to find a job. All right, good afternoon, Melody. We're in Canvas looking at the unit 2, taking steps to find a job. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Xavier, I think you're unmuted so we can hear all the.
Sorry.
Okay, it's all right. Okay. Okay, not yet. Okay, hold on. All right, let me. Give me 1 second. Okay. Like I said, I do apologize. Every time I try to share, Zoom takes its sweet time and does something else. I'm good until I try to share. All right, here we go. I know it's working when the screen blacks out on me. All right, so okay. All right. Um, you actually, I think, have two different class playlists. So the one that's underneath is going to be the one for this semester. I'm not going to touch that one up there. So the one that's kind of listed underneath is the one that'll allow you to see recorded versions of the lessons as we go this semester. So we're going to look at the second video.
I am going to give you some easy networking. Tips to help you land a job much faster.
Okay,
now, why do we
I
need
can
to
get him to do screen size? That'd be nice. I keep trying to put them here to access it easier, but full screen, full screen.
I am going to give you some easy networking tips to I am going to give you some easy networking tips to help you land a job much faster. Now, why do we need to network? Well, because the biggest challenge facing companies today is not AI, it's not inflation, it's not the economy, it is hiring the wrong.
There we go. I'm gonna get the hang of it eventually. I guess that this one is a little bit different. Yeah, Rayla, I said,
actually never
hang in
built a
there. I want you
website
to watch
before,
the
but
video
Fiverr had.
first, and then I'll see about breakout room. I don't know what it is you're
Exactly
trying
what
to
I
work
needed
with
for us to go
somebody,
from idea to market.
somebody with, but
The wrong people. This is why hiring managers are terrified to hire someone that they don't know. Now, luckily for us, it is easier than ever to become someone the hiring manager knows just by following some easy networking tips, and that's what we're going to talk about today. In this video, I'm going to explain how easy online networking works, who to network with, where to find those people, what to say to them when you do find them, how to build and deepen relationships with these people, and how to eventually turn them into someone who's going to help you land a job in the industry that you want to work in. My name is Greg Langstaff. I'm a certified resume strategist, and as many people into jobs they love as possible. So I am going to give you some easy networking tips. Well, because the biggest challenge facing companies today is not AI, it's not the economy, it is
all right. We are going to, our next project is to write a resume. So he's going to give you resume tips. So please pay attention. Pay attention, because that is your next project. You're going to write a resume.
Young people. This is why hiring managers are terrified to hire someone that they don't know. Now, luckily for us, it is easier than ever to become someone the hiring manager knows just by following some easy networking tips, and that's what we're going to talk about today. In this video, I'm going to explain how easy online networking works, who to network with, where to find those people, what to say to them when you do find them, how to build and deepen relationships with these people, and how to eventually turn them into someone who's going to help you land a job in the industry that you want to work in. My name is Greg Langstaff. I'm a certified resume strategist, and my goal is to get as many people into jobs they love as possible. So let's do this. So our goal in this easy online networking is to find people who work at companies that we want to work at or do jobs that we want to do, connect with them, and then eventually ask them to spend 10 to 15 minutes just talking with us a bit about their career journey and what they're doing now. This is called an informational interview, and in a few moments I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get those informational interviews and what to say to convert that person into someone you've just met into an ally who can help you land a job. Now, you might meet someone who's going to help you land a job within a week, or it could take a couple of months. This is why I recommend making online networking a part of your ongoing job search process, just like looking for jobs on job boards and updating your resume. Now, if you're already actively applying to jobs, I also recommend that when you apply to a job, you reach out to the hiring manager to let them know you applied. This is a more immediate type of networking, which can have positive benefits as well, and I created a video on how to do that, which you can find right here. Now, when it comes to this online networking, who should we be connecting with? Well, you're going to be happy to hear that the first place I recommend you start is with people you already know in your existing network. To make this process a little bit easier on you, I created this free Ultimate Networking Worksheet, which you can access in the description down below. So the first thing we're going to do once we have this worksheet open is we're going to add the names of 3 to 5 people who we already know who either work at a company we might like to work at or do a job similar to the job we would like to do.
There is no pause button, so I just have to kind of find one. All right. Oh, he said talk to people you already know. Some of you all don't like talking to people. You don't like talking to grown-ups. But talking to grown-ups, they know things. They know people. The expression is people who know people. And there's I think was it Ant-Man? The guy says, I know somebody. He always says, I know somebody. It's important to know somebody. So, and then they just know they have information and they can connect you to people that can help you. So knowing somebody is important, and be willing to talk to them.
We would like to do. Next, we're going to go over to LinkedIn, and we're going to search in the search bar here either a company that we'd like to work at or a job title that we'd like to have. And then we're going to use the people filter, as you can see here, and that is going to bring us to people who have worked at those companies or have those types of jobs. And what LinkedIn is going to do is it's going to filter our results and put people that you know at the top, which is great. And then it's going to show people that you have a connection or two in common with. So you can see this person here, I have 1, 2, 3 mutual connections with this person. So I'm going to add them to my list, and I'm going to add the name of one of my mutual connections so I can ask that person for an introduction. So once you have 5 to 10 people on this list who you want to connect with, we are good to go. It's time to start reaching out. Now, obviously, you will add people to this list as you go, but those are generally going to be people that you're going to be introduced to by the other people who are going to be on this list. So let's talk about how to connect with these folks. So it is time to reach out to the first 2 to 3 people on our list. And we don't want to reach out to everyone all at once, because if all goes well, you're going to have a bunch of meetings on your plate, and we definitely don't want to lose focus as we're talking to all these important people. So I'm going to share with you 4 quick messages on what to say when you're reaching out to people in each of these situations to try to convert them into someone who's going to have a chat with you or an informational interview to then help move forward in them assisting us with finding a job. So if we are reaching out to someone that we already know, we're going to send them a nice, direct, polite, excited message like this. And at the heart of this message, we're just asking if they'd be willing to spend 10 to 15 minutes chatting with us about their career and their current situation. And we'll talk about what to do in those 10 to 15 minutes in just a moment. But first, and feel free to take a screenshot of this, by the way, what do we say if we are asking someone for an introduction? So this is someone we know who knows someone we'd like to know. Again, it's very direct, it's straightforward, it's polite, it's enthusiastic, and we're just asking for a simple introduction. Next, if we are following up on an introduction, so someone we know has introduced us to someone we want to meet, I recommend doing this fairly quickly, within a couple of hours if possible. We want them to know we're eager. And here, it's the same kind of energy, but we're being more introductory, and again, at the heart of it, asking them to spend 10 to 15 minutes just chatting with us about their career, what their life is like doing the job they do now. Very high level stuff. The main point is just to meet them. And then finally, if the circumstance comes around where you don't know anyone who can introduce you to this person that you're trying to get to know, I will tell you this is a less likely situation for you to actually get a response and get this person on a call, but it is absolutely worth a try, especially if we're just sending a nice, straightforward message like this that's not too pushy and just sort of asking them again for a small 10 to 15 minute chat. Nothing wild, but definitely worth a try if you don't know anyone who can make an introduction. Now, not every single person you reach out to is going to say yes to having a call. It is a big ask, especially if you've never met this person before, but some people will say yes. They absolutely will, and I want to make sure that you know exactly what to do in those situations, so let's run through some do's and don'ts. First, there are a few do's I want to cover that we're going to do during these 10 to 15 minute conversations. Number 1 being, learn as much as possible. And I'll give you a list of questions you can ask them shortly, but as a general overall guidance, we want to ask them things about what they're currently doing, their career path, how they got to the job that they're in, what it's like to work at their company, more about the industry, and anything else that we're kind of curious to know. This person's going to be an incredible resource for us as we're just preparing to apply to and interview for jobs, even if they don't end up being the person who specifically helped us get a job. Next, we want to make friends with this person. This is absolutely essential. We want to make a strong impression that's going to help them to actually feel like they might want to work with us or might want to this by asking them lots of questions, just going with the flow of the conversation. If you have a big list of questions, but then you hit it off talking about your dogs, just go with it. The most important thing is that they like you. Humble. And we'll talk about some things not to do in terms of bragging, selling ourselves in a moment. The third thing, kind of our takeaway during this call, is some kind of help. And we are never going to ask them specifically directly to help us get a job, but because 1, they already know that's what we want, so if they want to help, they will, and 2, it's very awkward, it's a huge swing, and it's awfully pushy. So instead, things we will ask them for: can they introduce us to people in their network? It's at the very least, at the end of these conversations, you can say, would you mind introducing me to someone else in your network who might be able to help me learn a bit more? We'll ask them if we can keep in touch. We'll ask if they have any recommendations for professional development we should consider pursuing, and then we can also ask them to let us know if they know of any job openings that ever come up. These are totally acceptable things to ask for during these conversations. And then finally, just make sure throughout the call, beginning, middle, end, before, after, we're expressing gratitude because this person didn't need to give us their time and definitely don't need to help us out. Now, some things to absolutely avoid during this conversation. One, just selling yourself. This is not our interview. And if you come in too hot trying to sell yourself, you're going to put them off and kind of ruin the entire relationship building thing. We don't want to be talking the whole time. We ideally want to have them spend most of the time talking. Don't come unprepared. Come with questions. And of course, we want to make sure we are being gracious. And above all, how you ended up the company name. Tell me more about what you're responsible for in your role today. Great background information. Tell me a bit about what it's like to work at this company. Could help you decide if you even want to work there. Could ask what they like about working in the industry and are there any things they don't like. Maybe you can ask them some advice they might share to a younger you or a younger them to help them better achieve what they were trying to achieve today. A nice one I like to ask, what's your proudest accomplishment since moving into the industry? This will put them in a good mood and certainly get them associating you with positive feelings. A great idea. And then, very directly, is any training, certifications, experience you recommend I try and add to my resume to make my job search more effective? Now, after these conversations, we do have a bit of work to do. So first, obviously, we're going to make some notes on some things that we discussed with them during the conversation. You never know when you're going to need this. Next, if there was any mention of any follow-up, we will act on that. So if they asked us to send our resume, if they asked us to send them something else that we've done, we'll send that right away. If they offered to give us an introduction to someone or send something to us to help us out, we will send them a nice thank you message asking them or gently reminding them about that follow-up action item they had. And then lastly, we're going to put in a follow-up date.
Should I go back a little? You said it froze. It might be that you're lagging behind me. So I'm gonna just take it back a little bit.
Conversation. You never know when you're gonna need this. Next, if there was any mention of any follow
and pause
any
it.
Training certification.
All right. Whoops. I'm trying. This does not have a pause button. I don't know what's wrong with this video. I was going to try to screenshot.
Training, certifications, experience you recommend I try and add to my resume to make my job search more effective. Now, after these conversations, we do have a bit of work to do. So first, obviously, we're going to make some notes on some things that we discussed with them during the conversation. You never know when you're going to need this. Next, if there was any mention of any follow-up, we will act on that. So if they asked us to send our resume, if they asked us to send them something else that we've done, we'll send that right away. If they offered to give us an introduction to someone or send something to us to help us out, we will send them a nice thank you message asking them or gently reminding them about that follow-up action item they had. And then lastly, we're going to put in a follow-up date for this conversation, usually about 2 months down the line, and at that time we're just going to check in with them, remind them that we still exist, thank them again, and ask them how they're doing, and maybe that'll spark another conversation that will turn into them remembering we exist and possibly remembering to help us as well. Now, if you're able to have one of these informational interview calls once or twice a week, over time, your network is quickly going to snowball to the point that you're a known entity in your industry and no one is going to be afraid to give you a chance with a job interview or even a job offer. Now, of course, we need to back up all this networking with an amazing resume. So I highly recommend, if you haven't already, check out my free resume writing course here on YouTube and all my other great resume writing and job search videos. We'll see you there.
Couldn't stop. Alrighty, we are back in Canvas. All right, any questions? So there's quite a few of you who haven't finished the first activity. But I'm about to give you a second. Okay. All right, so again, come back here and read this over. Knowing what your GPA is important. There are exams, like right now you're taking milestone exams, but then when you get to high school, they become, you don't get tired, you don't stop taking exams. So being able to take exams and get good scores is very important. Attention to detail and math skills. Math was not one of my favorite subjects, but math is important as far as having it on your resume. So even if you don't like math, you have to do well at it because there are there's English and math portions of most of these entrance exams and other opportunities. All right, so read that over and then mine just keeps jumping from place to place. All right. I do believe this is published for you. So I want you to read this over. It says complete all the components in the activity below according to the given instructions. Refer to provided rubric, which you'll get later, and then submit your work. All right. So let's look at this. All right, and this CTSO is career people. So you're going to look those up. They specialize and concentrate in certain industries so that they train students. So you want training. You want, in other words, getting to knowing somebody who knows somebody allows you to be trained. Everybody wants training. These days, going in the job field, they want to know, do you have any experience? If you don't have any experience, they don't even want to talk to you. So this is why networking is important. You want to find out, how do I get in touch with people who like what I like and will pay me to do what I like to do? So you got to talk to people. So you want to, and is this something you have access to? Is this one published? Can you see this one? Somebody shake their head, yes or no? Okay, good. All right, so this is where everybody needs to be. All right, so for this activity, you'll be researching CTSOs that are available for each cluster. First, create a blank word processing document and save it as cluster TSOs, and then make a list of the clusters. So these are the clusters. All right, to complete the activity along with it, follow the steps below. Pick one. You can either search for a career that you remember learning about, or you can use the Browse Careers by Industry tab to find a career search. Once you have found one career from the cluster, type that name under the cluster on your processing document, and then research what kind of TSO opportunities are available there. So with the time that's left, I'm just going to stop there. Let's try to get that much done with the rest of the time today, and then we'll continue with this on Wednesday. Okay, so everybody's going to start here. You're going to create a document that says cluster TCSO. Pick one and then research it. My next move. Okay. Let me go back, come out of that. And then once you have, so 1 and 2, your job is to do 1 and 2 for now. Once you have found the career cluster that you want, then research what kind of opportunities are available in that career. Okay, that's what you need to do for the rest of today. And then we'll build on this on Wednesday. The link for this, okay, let me do that. I'll send it for everybody. I'm trying. Yeah, Zoom keeps freezing on me, and I'm trying to paste this link in here for you, and it's not going. which is weird because it's just the Zoom. I can do anything in Canvas, but Zoom is not allowing me to paste this. Hop on here. Okay. All right, there we go. I don't know what's happening with Zoom today, but okay. No, it's not posted yet. Right now you're just doing a preliminary. So Wednesday so you're doing rough work right now. You don't have anything to post yet. All right, there's the link to the module. It says denied. Let me check on that. Why? Okay, hold on. Okay. Should not be denied now. There you go. So many things to publish. You're welcome. Thank you for helping me. Like I said, your unit is a little different than the ones that I'm in the science department that I'm used to. So it's got multi pages to it. So I'll get used to it in a minute. All right, so I put the link in the chat as to where this activity is. It is now published, so you should be able to see it. And you're going to read that first part, and you are going to do, oops, this is the rubric. And you are only doing part 1 and 2 right now. 1 and 2. So you're building first. You're building. You're not ready to submit anything. All right, you good? I'm going to stop sharing because I need to tweak the attendance. And I'm going to check on to see if there's some of you who have submitted the other assignment. If you haven't done that, make sure you do that first. There we go. Oops, somebody else just came. But folks, when you come this late, you're absent. There's only 15 minutes left to class. I think they were already here. They might have got kicked out. Okay, yeah, we're already here. Okie dokie. All right. Jada, I don't know how much you missed about what you are to be doing. Put this link in the chat. It looked like you got kicked out somewhere along the way. All right, there you go. You didn't miss anything? Okay. All right, that's fine. All right. Let's- Again, I'm trying to share and Zoom is not cooperating. what you need to look at too, are there any organizations that you're in now? So, high schools have things like DECA. Okay. You should be able to send it to me in Outlook. Can you not do that? Okay, hold on. Let me see. You don't have that. Hmm. Outlook doesn't. Ah, okay. Interesting. Like I said, your program has so much different. Hmm. You should be able to find my email by going to Outlook and just type in my name, Cheryl Harris, and see how that works. We're going to explore that. Mm-hmm. It is. All right. See if it works. All right, it may take a while for me to get it, but I will definitely check it. And you'll know by next class whether I got it or not. Because right now, it is not coming up. Okay, folks, if you're in a good place to stop, you can get ready to do that. You got Oh, okay. That's nice to know. She's my biology class. In fact, I just had that class.